Act like nothing matters. What if I told you that the thing you've been calling caring is actually the thing that's been destroying you? You wake up every morning and the first thing you do, before you even open your eyes, is start calculating. Will they reply? Did I say something wrong? What are people thinking about me? What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? What if everything falls apart? And you carry that weight everywhere you go. Into the grocery store. Into conversations. Into relationships. Into your own bedroom. You carry it so long that you forget what it feels like to put it down. But here's the question nobody asks. What if putting it down wasn't giving up? What if acting like nothing matters wasn't weakness, but the most radical act of power you could ever choose? That's what we're getting into today. Stay with me. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found this video. This channel is a place where we talk about the things most people are too afraid to say out loud. The uncomfortable truths. The conversations you have with yourself at 2 a.m. when the world gets quiet and reality gets loud. And today's topic? It might be the most important conversation I've ever had on this channel. We're talking about acting like nothing matters. Now, before you click off, I'm not telling you to become a nihilist. I'm not saying your dreams don't matter, that people don't matter, that love doesn't matter. That's not what this is. What I'm saying is there is a specific kind of suffering that comes from caring too much about the wrong things, in the wrong way, for the wrong reasons. And most of us have been doing it our whole lives, without even knowing it. So let's break it down. Let's go deep. And by the end of this video, I want you to feel something shift. The weight of caring too much. Let's start with a simple truth: you cannot care about everything equally. It is physically, emotionally, mentally impossible. And yet most of us try. We care about what our parents think. We care about what strangers on the internet think. We care about whether we're successful enough, attractive enough, interesting enough, good enough. We care about the past, replaying moments that already happened, as if replaying them will somehow change the ending. We care about the future, anxious about problems that don't even exist yet. And here's what that constant caring does to you. It paralyzes you. Think about the last time you didn't do something because you were afraid of what people would say. Think about the last time you stayed in a situation that was hurting you because leaving felt too risky. Think about the last time you didn't speak up, didn't start, didn't try, because the weight of "what if it goes wrong?" was heavier than the weight of "what if it goes right?" That's what overcaring looks like. It doesn't look like someone who cares too much about the wrong things. It looks like someone who has stopped living because caring about outcomes became more important than the act of living itself. There's a word for this. It's called anxiety. But anxiety is just a clinical name for what happens when caring becomes consuming. And I want to talk about where this comes from. Because it didn't just appear. You were trained. From childhood, most of us were rewarded for performing. Good grades got praise. Bad behavior got punishment. We learned very early that other people's approval was tied to our safety. That being too much, or not enough, had consequences. That shrinking yourself made things easier. So we built a system. A constant monitoring system. Running in the background of our minds 24 hours a day, scanning for threats, managing perceptions, calculating risks. And that system? It is exhausting. Acting like nothing matters is not about destroying that system overnight. It's about learning, slowly, deliberately, to turn the volume down. The philosophy. Now let's get into the actual philosophy behind this idea. Because this isn't new. Some of the greatest thinkers in human history have been trying to teach us this exact thing for centuries. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, they built an entire philosophy around the idea of separating what is in your control from what is not. And their conclusion was simple: if it's not in your control, caring about it is a choice you're making that serves no useful purpose. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor. He had more power than almost any person in history. And he still wrote in his private journal things like, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wasn't saying nothing matters. He was saying, your reaction is the only thing that's yours. Everything else is borrowed, temporary, and ultimately out of your hands. The Buddhists took it even further. The entire concept of non-attachment in Buddhism is this idea that suffering comes not from what happens to us, but from our clinging, to outcomes, to identities, to how we think things should be. The moment you loosen your grip on how things need to go, you stop suffering in that particular way. This isn't nihilism. Nihilism says nothing has meaning. This philosophy says meaning is something you create, and you protect it by not letting the noise of the world dictate it for you. And then there's the modern version. You've probably heard of not caring what people think. It's become a kind of Instagram philosophy, people posting about it while desperately refreshing to see how many likes they got. That's not what we're talking about. Real indifference, strategic indifference, is something different. It's a practice. It's a discipline. It's something you have to build over time, because it goes against everything we were wired to do as social creatures. We are built to care what people think. Evolution made us that way. Being rejected from the tribe meant death for our ancestors. So your brain treats social rejection like a physical threat. The discomfort you feel when someone doesn't like you or judges you is real, it's neurological. It's not weakness. It's biology. But biology is not destiny. The fact that your brain cares doesn't mean your life has to be run by that caring. That's the whole point. How to actually do it. So how do you actually act like nothing matters? What does that look like in real life? I'm going to give you concrete practices. Because philosophy without application is just entertainment. The first practice is the 5-year test. Before you spiral about something, before you let it ruin your day, your relationship, your peace, ask yourself one question: will this matter in 5 years? Not will I remember it. Not will it hurt. Will it matter in a way that actually changes the trajectory of my life? Most things won't. Most things that feel like emergencies in the moment are noise by next month. The embarrassing thing you said at dinner? The argument you had over text? The comment someone left on your post? The way someone looked at you? In 5 years, that's gone. It's vapor. But we treat vapor like concrete. We build prisons out of it. The 5-year test is a pattern interrupt. It forces your brain out of the immediate emotional response and into a longer perspective. And longer perspective almost always brings relief. The second practice is selective caring. You don't stop caring. You get intentional about what you care about. Take out a piece of paper, or open your notes app, and write down the 5 things that actually matter to you. Not the things you've been told should matter. Not the things that society says you should want. The actual things. The things that, when you imagine your life without them, feel like loss. For most people, that list is small. Family. A few close friendships. Their own growth. Their creative work or purpose. Their health. That's it. That's the list. Now look at how much of your emotional energy goes into things that aren't on that list. The opinions of people you don't even like. The success of strangers online. The approval of coworkers you'll never see again after you leave that job. The metrics that don't connect to anything meaningful. Acting like nothing matters means acting like those things, the things not on your list, don't matter. Because they don't. Not really. You just gave them permission to feel like they do. The third practice is completing the action before the outcome. This is the biggest one. This is where most people get stuck. We don't do the thing because we're already living in the imagined failure. We don't send the email because we're already feeling the rejection. We don't start the business because we're already experiencing the embarrassment of it failing. We don't have the conversation because we're already feeling the aftermath. This is called catastrophizing. And it's one of the most common and most destructive mental habits humans have. Acting like nothing matters means, you do the thing, and you let the outcome be whatever it's going to be. You detach the action from the result. You become someone who acts, and then receives, rather than someone who predicts and then avoids. This doesn't mean you stop caring about doing things well. It means you stop letting the fear of results prevent the attempt. You send the message. You post the video. You start the conversation. You make the move. And then you release it. You let it land wherever it lands. And you stay okay. That is a skill. A real, learnable skill. The fourth practice is comfort with discomfort. Acting like nothing matters doesn't mean nothing is uncomfortable. It means you stop being surprised and overwhelmed when discomfort arrives. Discomfort is not danger. This is one of the most important distinctions you can make in your psychological life. The feeling of anxiety, of uncertainty, of exposure, those are uncomfortable. They're not dangerous. Your brain treats them the same way, but they're not. When you're about to do something that scares you, your body sends signals. Heart rate increases. Chest tightens. Mind races. Your brain says, danger? Turn back. This is going to hurt. And you've been listening to that voice your whole life. But people who seem like they don't care about outcomes? They feel all of that too. They just don't interpret it the same way. They've learned to feel the alarm and not evacuate. They've learned to walk toward the thing that triggers the alarm, not because they don't care if it goes wrong, but because they've made peace with the possibility that it might. You build this through exposure. Small risks first. Then bigger ones. Each time you do the scary thing and survive, your nervous system updates its map. It learns, this was uncomfortable but not fatal. And slowly, the alarm system becomes less sensitive. The things people get wrong. Now I want to address something, because I know some of you are going to take this the wrong way. And that's not your fault. This message gets distorted all the time. Acting like nothing matters is not the same as not caring about people. This is the version of not caring that some people use as a shield. They hurt others and say they don't care. They ghost, they neglect, they abandon, and they call it freedom. That's not indifference. That's avoidance dressed up as philosophy. Real indifference is internal. It's about what you do with your own mind in response to the world. It has nothing to do with how you treat other people. You can deeply love and care for the people in your life, with full commitment and presence, while simultaneously releasing the desperate need to control how they see you, whether they always agree with you, or whether the relationship ever goes exactly the way you planned. That's the distinction. Caring for people. Not being consumed by people. The second thing people get wrong, they think this is about becoming emotionally numb. It's the opposite. When you're not using all your emotional energy managing other people's opinions of you, you have so much more capacity for actual feeling. You feel joy more fully. You connect more deeply. You love more freely. Because you're not constantly monitoring, calculating, protecting. Emotional numbness is what happens when you've been over-caring for too long and your system burns out. Real indifference gives your system room to breathe. And the third thing people get wrong, they think this is a mindset you adopt once and then you're done. No. This is a daily practice. Some days you'll nail it. You'll do the scary thing, release the outcome, stay in your peace. Other days you'll spiral. You'll care deeply about something that doesn't deserve your care. You'll lose sleep over something that won't matter next month. That's not failure. That's human. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is more moments of freedom than you had before. Who needs this most? I want to speak directly to a few groups of people, because I know exactly who ends up watching a video like this. If you're a people pleaser, someone who has organized your entire life around making others comfortable at the expense of yourself, this is your permission slip. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to disappoint people. You are allowed to choose yourself. Not every time. Not carelessly. But choosing yourself is not selfishness. It is survival. And eventually it becomes the most generous thing you can do, because a person who has filled their own cup can actually give from overflow instead of from depletion. If you're someone who has been paralyzed by comparison, measuring your life against people online, against siblings or friends, or the imagined version of who you were supposed to be by now, hear this: comparison is just borrowed suffering. You are taking pain that doesn't belong to you and installing it in your chest. Someone else's success is not your failure. Their path has nothing to do with yours. The moment you stop using their timeline as evidence against yourself, you get your own timeline back. If you're someone who has been afraid to start the channel, the business, the conversation, the chapter, because the outcome feels too uncertain, start anyway. Do it scared. Do it imperfect. Do it before you're ready, because ready is a feeling that only comes after the attempt, not before. The version of you who acts like nothing matters is not reckless. That person is free. And freedom in this life is not given. It's built. One uncomfortable choice at a time. So here's where I want to leave you. Nothing that is meant for you requires you to destroy yourself in the pursuit of it. The right relationships won't require you to abandon yourself to keep them. The right opportunities won't require you to live in terror to earn them. The right version of your life won't require you to care so deeply about the wrong things that you lose the energy to care about the right ones. Act like nothing matters, and what you'll discover is that the things that truly matter will become clearer, sharper, more real. Because you'll finally be able to see them without all the noise. Stop performing. Stop calculating. Stop waiting for permission. Just live. Imperfectly, honestly, fully, like the outcome is already handled. Because maybe it is. I'll see you in the next one. Before we keep going, if this kind of conversation is what you've been looking for, hit that subscribe button right now. I put out videos like this every week, deep dives into mindset, psychology, and the things most people are too afraid to talk about. Every subscriber tells the algorithm this content matters. So if it's speaking to you, join the community. Let's keep growing together. If this video hit differently, if something in here shifted something in you, I want you to subscribe to this channel. Not for me. For you. Because this is the kind of content I'm going to keep making. And I want you to be here for it. Subscribe. Share this with someone who needs it. And I'll see you in the next video.